have to laugh at these comments here. We've got Go Usher, we've got Go Taylor's boyfriend. Big game coming up tonight. I love it. All right, guys. So we have a lot to discuss here. Severe weather is in the forecast. In fact, I think it's going to be one of those days kind of deal here. So, uh-oh. My mom just texted me. She said, "Are you going on soon?" Yeah, I'm on now. I forgot to text. Oh, I'm in trouble. Okay, 61 degrees outside. Now, that means we're north of the warm front. And that's kind of where you want to be today, although that does not keep you entirely safe because what we're seeing here are storms that are slightly elevated over the warm front, and those could bring some pretty big hail. In fact, SPC upped the risk to for some hail larger than 2 inches in some spots. Now, looking out on the camera view, I see a little bit of a clear spot down there toward the horizon as I look south, and I think that's probably the edge of where that warm front's coming up. So it's through or near Oakdale right now, and that's going to surge to the north. But we're going to talk about all this. We're going to go through kind of the mini forecast, but this is the forecast that's geared more towards severe weather today. There was a look at Texas Avenue, and let me tell you, first off, I'm so thankful they canceled this parade today because with what things are looking like now, it would just be bad news and they'd have to cancel it anyway because we have a tornado watch now that comes up to the border of Louisiana and Texas, and then we have this severe thunderstorm watch just to the north of us. Now, right now, it's just these scattered light showers that are forming. These are getting crushed because we have a little cap in the atmosphere, so things are not going to be popping too quickly this morning. Not here, but I think we're going to see that here shortly. We're going to probably see that in the next 2 to 3 hours as we break through the cap. They'll expand that tornado watch out to the east from what I'm thinking. And then we're going to see some issues for today. So that's your radar right now. And this shows I left the loop on this. This is the high resolution temperatures. We're going to dive into this in the dew point a little bit more here in a bit so we see exactly where this front is. But you see how this spot here in central Beauregard Parish jumped from 63 to 66. We're nudging up around Opelousas towards 70, still at 60 in Alexandria. So that warm front, I'm going to draw it later, but it's right around there, right around the Rapides, Allen, Evangeline Parish line, and then pretty close to the parish line there in Vernon and Beauregard, and then probably into southern Avoyelles Parish as well. So south of that front is where your higher tornado threat's going to be, or along that front, just to the north of that is where I think we're going to see a risk for very large hail as well. And so we have that and the damaging wind threat, an all modes severe threat today. I don't necessarily think we see thunderstorms at 10 a.m., but I think we'll see some showers in the area. In fact, I know that because we already have that going on. And then thunderstorms really increase for this afternoon. Probably right afternoon is when we start to see this happening. And this is what we have going on Futurecast. And this is going to show you the storm mode. Now, this is not going to show you exact representations of what's going on in the, it's not going to show you exactly where things are going to be and when they're going to be there, but it's going to give us that idea of how things are going to go. So by 1 p.m., it looks like we have some individual cells popping here. These are probably going to be forming right along the warm front. And storms like that could quickly become dangerous because you get a little enhanced wind shear right along the warm front. Now, as they cross north of it, that's when we see more of a hail threat, but I'm really going to be watching these initial storms here in the next couple of hours. And then you can see we've got cells here that are going to be forming from northeast Louisiana back down through Leesville. And this is going to be kind of the corridor along and just to the north of that warm front where these things happen. And that's going to be set up right overhead. Then we go through Super Bowl kickoff. We're going to see a stormy run of things. Some of you might lose power. I know that's not a good thing during the Super Bowl, but we are going to see some gusty winds and the potential for some very large hail. And yes, isolated tornadoes are possible with this. I was talking with a friend who's a storm chaser, and he chases nationally, and he's like, yeah, I think we're starting in Alexandria today. So that just gives you kind of a heads up. If I were chasing today, I'd just sit here and I'd wait in my driveway, and then I'd go whenever I saw a storm pop. Future storm strength. This is going to show you the available energy for storms. Now watch this because this is going to show you where that warm front is. I'll put it in motion. Not much movement. It comes up to the north a little bit. North of that, there's plenty of instability, but it's elevated. This is your surface-based instability, and where we see that, that's where we're going to see that threat for tornadoes. And now we'll go through the SPC outlooks, which are in a slight risk. We're in that level 2 of 5. I think we end up getting a level 3 later. I think they're going to put an enhanced corridor corridor in here, but that's just my opinion based on some years of experience, of which I have a few. And we have the hail outlook. Now, that's one thing, to see a 15% chance for hail within 25 miles of a point, but they have upgraded us to a significant hail risk, and I would be remiss if I did not mention that my title sponsor is Igloo Roofing. If you find yourself with damage after today's storms and your roof is involved, please do contact them, 318-542-7477. It helps me do what I do, and it helps some good people. So there is a threat for significant hail. Again, parade canceled is a good thing, because if we didn't have this canceled, just imagine we have 2-inch hail falling on all these people that are outside and they can't get inside quickly because they're far away from their cars. So I love that they canceled this thing just based on the threat assessment and looking at managing the risk of things. We could have had some major problems today. I know it's hard to cancel these things, but I'm glad they did. And speaking of other things, we have a damaging wind threat as well. So, top heavy, giant, tall floats, not good. And then, of course, tornadoes are never good. So a 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of a point right through the area today. I think this is drawn pretty well here. I do think we could see an enhanced corridor along that front, and that could be right along Highway 28 to 84 from Leesville to Alexandria to Faraday. So that is what I'm looking at. That's what SPC is showing. I'm going to show you a brief look at the 7-day. I'm going to take my gorgeous face off this thing. There you go. 60% chance of rain next Friday and Saturday, but I actually left the evening 7-day forecast in. I'm just throwing caution to the wind. It's going to rain today, and it's going to be warm and muggy south of that front. So there is a quick peek at the 7-day. Now we switch over to analysis mode, and I'm going to take you on a little tour here of what's going on. And I left this one up. And we're going to start by diagnosing kind of where that front is. You can see we were at 70 and 66, up to 67 and 71 on this. Let me clear these out here. And let's see. Let's put this and just kind of see here. So let's just go right around Oakdale at 66, right around Woodworth, 61. So we'll just see 65 there, 62 there. So that's where your front is. If it's about 66 where you are south of that front, and you are in that area where you could see the surface base, or you do see the surface base instability already. I'm going to draw a little line here, and I'm going to make it red so it looks like a warm front, I think. Can I change the color? It doesn't matter that much. Oh, I can. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so right now, I'm just moving the map. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the map. I'll figure it out. Here we go. Warm front, probably about like that. It's probably going to move. It is going to move toward the north. And I think this thing ends up around that line. So especially near and south of that, that's where we're going to see our tornado threat build up today. A better way to look at this even would be the high resolution dew points. You can see that we go from dry to humid, but we can take a look at this. And again, we're diagnosing where the highest threat's going to be. I will say from years of experience, along that warm front is where we typically see tornadoes develop. This takes me back to the 2017 event. That was a warm front day, and we know what happened then. That was the April 2017 EF2 that came right up 165. And so when we look at systems like this, we try to see, what are some commonalities that this has with previous systems. And that was a high risk day. This is a slight risk day, so I think we elevate that risk a little bit, but that doesn't matter for our purposes. That's why a good local guy that knows what he's talking about comes in and tells you what's going on. And I think we have a decent threat for not only the hail and the wind, but a few tornadoes in the area today. So there's your dew points, upper 50s to the north, near 60 around Woodworth, and then boom, 66 there around Mamou, and 68 in southern Beauregard Parish, 68 down there in near Opelousas, near 70 to the south of I-10. So lots of juice down there. That's going to come up to the north, and now we're going to see how this all works on the radar. And again, we do not have a radar. Door shut. We do not have a radar out at Fort Johnson, but we do have we have Lake Charles, we have Shreveport. We won't need New Orleans, but you can see here. Let me pop lightning and see if we're getting any lightning on that Sabine Parish shower. I think we probably do. Yeah. So these are starting to increase a bit. I'll put it in motion here. And look at all that lightning on the storms that are elevated north of that front. Lots of ice in them. I saw 2.5-inch hail, which is almost baseball size. That's tennis ball size, reported just west of Shreveport. And then to the southwest, we have other storms that are forming. There's actually a confirmed tornado on this storm just southwest of Huntsville, Tennessee. Again, all over the map. Huntsville, Texas. That's making more sense. I'll take the lightning off because that does kind of clutter things up here. But you can see little elements here, these little showers that are forming, and they're feeding to the north of the warm front. And then we have these elevated storms that are popping, and these could be hail producers. That's why we have a severe thunderstorm watch to our north. Let me put the alerts on just to, So severe thunderstorm warnings through Shreveport, and that goes up to our north, to the north of I-20. We have severe thunderstorm warnings that turned into a special weather statement there. And there you see how that went purple. That is a confirmed tornado. We're seeing confirmed tornadoes before 10 a.m., never a good sign. Just to the south of Huntsville, Texas, this is moving toward Livingston. And then eventually, of course, these are going to run along. This one's right along that warm front. It's going to continue on to the east, and we're going to have to watch this storm. I'm not particularly saying this storm is going to cause us a local issue, but we should see new storms developing. And of course, we will watch this one because it does have that confirmed tornado with it. Now, all that gloom and doom being said, it looks like, the next couple hours are pretty quiet here. Seeing those elevated storms popping up across the severe thunderstorm watch, but locally right here, Alexandria to the south, this area, we're not in the watch yet. I think we have a couple more hours where things are pretty quiet. To the north, to the west, that's where things are going to get busy. I need a drink of coffee. And let me look at comments here, make sure I'm not missing anything good. My legs are cold. I'm about to put my blanket up like a little old man. All right. Parades in South Louisiana tomorrow and Tuesday. Yeah, there's going to be there will be a lot of parades tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow and Tuesday is looking really good. But for today, we have, it looks like 2 confirmed tornadoes now out there in southeast Texas. And in fact, I'm going to pull the laptop up, take a look at this. But seeing morning confirmed tornadoes is never a good thing. I'm trying to get my fingerprint to work here. There we go. And I'm just checking the Houston chat here, just to see what kind of radar confirmed tornadoes on the supercell near Huntsville. Yep, they've got radar confirmed. I know they had a spotter confirmed tornado near Richards, Texas. So all this to say that we do have storms that are already producing at this early hour. We have at least 2 confirmed tornadoes out here. I think things get really busy here in the next couple hours, and I will be watching things closely. Because we don't have an ongoing threat right now, I'll just, I'll let you know that the timing of this is going to be from about noon until 7 p.m. It's going to end earlier out west. It's going to end later to the east. 7 o'clock is going to be Catahoula, Concordia, of Oil, St. Landry Parish. Maybe it ends by 4 or 5, Natchitoches, Sabine, Vernon, and Beauregard. And right here around Alexandria, probably around 6 or so, that's when things move out. But we have a pretty brief window, and it's going to be a pretty darn intense one. So there is a tornado threat for today. There is a large hail threat, and this encompasses the entire area. In fact, here, if you just showed up, let me pause this. We're going to go to the SPC outlooks. Just if you just tuned in, this is your slight risk. This covers the entire state, save the absolute northwest tippy top of Bossier and Caddo Parish. So everyone in the slight level 2 of 5 risk, we can go to the hail threat. That is the 15% risk within 25 miles of a point. There is a significant hail threat as well. That means we have at least a 10% chance of getting hail larger than 2 inches in diameter, so larger than golf balls. And we have a wind threat right through the area as well. This is going to be another thing, isolated, strong, damaging wind. And of course, the tornado threat being at around 5%. We already have tornado watches and confirmed tornadoes out to the southwest. So I think this gets increased. I think we'll probably see a 10% risk somewhere right through the area. And when we get that update, I will talk to you about it. We'll get through this one. We're going to be watching things closely, and we'll go live when we get warnings here. But I wanted to give you kind of that long fuse warning here and let you know what's going on, what we're seeing here. And you can see right now all that activity, the heaviest stuff, off to our north and west. Okay, I'll be on whenever today. So I'm not going to do the countdown every time. I did that for this one to get everybody involved. Of course, when there's a severe threat, when severe weather is happening, I'm just going to jump on and I'll be there and I'll start yapping and we'll talk about all this. And one interesting note, winter storm warnings up there for Oklahoma City toward Wichita Falls, Texas. Our old friend Barrett He's up there in Lawton. Winter storm warning. He's getting to see a lot of snow. Huh. All right. I'll see you guys back here later on today as things get popping.